Good morning, guys. You're going to complete a lab today looking at lizards. So we're going to try to learn a little bit more about species today and how certain species are actually related to each other. We're going to see how that comes through with these Anolis lizards. So we are going to look at patterns to create a hypothesis today, and we're also going to look at something called a phylogenetic tree. And you've seen these already in the hemoglobin blast to see how closely humans were related to chimpanzees and gorillas. So we're going to do that with these lizards, and these lizards are found on all of these different islands. So what you're going to do is you are going to play the role of the scientist doing some observations. So we've collected data from all of these islands, all of the lizards that we found, and we've put them in this. So this little data table is going to take you through your information, the name of the lizard, the number obviously, what island it's found on. So this guy is found in Cuba. We find him in the grass and the brush. He has a slender body that's a very long tail, and here's his picture here. So you can go through and see some common characteristics by body shape, or maybe by the look of the lizard, by the location and where they live in the trees or on the island, and then also what island they live on. So you're going to take in some of that data and figure it out. The crown of the tree is up here, just so you know. Then you've got the lower trunk, the middle trunk, the upper trunk. They say twigs or branches. Obviously, those are twigs and branches. The bushes are down in this area. So you're going to use that data as well as data from a map. So we've taken that information and we've put all of those lizards on the map in each of the island's locations. So you can see then, okay, look, that lizard number 7 that lives in the crown of the tree in Cuba is going to be positioned here, all the way down to some of the other lizards. And we did this with every single island. So you can look at some of the common characteristics that we see. Okay, so you're going to fill out some of the habitats that are described in the charts and on the map, some of the lizard body shapes that you see depicted in the map or in the data table, and patterns that you see maybe on each island, or maybe all of the same lizards with the same body type happen to be found in the same location of the trees, whatever, but we need some of that information in here. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to decide between two hypotheses. You can click on that sheet. You can use your map again to help you with this. But when it comes down to it, there are two hypotheses that we can pick from. If we look at these phylogenetic trees, we have one here. And this hypothesis is saying that lizards that live on the same island are more closely related to each other. So all of the lizards that live in Puerto Rico are more closely related than those lizards that live in Cuba or any of the other islands. The second hypothesis is looking at lizards from a different perspective. This one is saying that lizards that have the same body type are more closely related. So the lizards that have all of the long forelimbs and flattened bodies, those guys are going to be closer related to each other than it doesn't really matter what island they're on. So all of the lizards that have the short, slender legs and tails, whether it's Cuba or Puerto Rico, those guys are more closely related. So you're going to decide which hypothesis you agree with, highlight it, and explain why you chose that. Again, you can use your map, hypothesis sheet, anything else to help you with that. And then you're going to test your hypothesis. So we've been given the actual DNA data here in this phylogenetic tree. You're going to take a look at that phylogenetic tree. I'm not going to go through it right now with you because I don't want to give anything away. And you're going to decide, based off of that, were you correct? Were you incorrect in the hypothesis you chose? You're going to decide which hypothesis was actually the right one and explain how you know that. And then how you also believe lizards might have traveled to these islands and everything else. So take some time and go through this lab. Again, if you're stuck or have any questions, please let your teacher know, and we will also recap this a little bit more in another video. Thanks.